It's funny, isn't it? The ordinary drone hobbyist struggles to fly beyond the next hill, but billion-dollar companies are now flying drones miles away from the operator. Right, you've probably seen the recent headlines surrounding commercial drone deliveries and expanding beyond visual line of sight operations. Right, that's flying BVLOS. Right, judging by the messages that I've been receiving lately, as a lot of ordinary drone pilots, like me, are beginning to feel increasingly squeezed out of the sky. Well, not necessarily angry about it, but I feel frustrated. Because for the outside looking in, it can appear as though the rules are becoming tighter and tighter for ordinary hobbyist recreational pilots like me and you. Well, it's becoming increasingly flexible for big corporations with enormous resources behind them to fly beyond visual line of sight. And honestly, I can understand why people are starting to feel a bit mad about it. Well, the drone flyers anyway. So if you ask the regulator, the CAA, about this, they'll generally tell you something that is technically true. The rules apply equally to everybody, whether you're a hobbyist with a DJI Mini, a content creator, a professional operator, or a multinational delivery company. The application pathway for BVLOS flights exists for all of you. And in theory, anybody can apply for BVLOS operational permissions. But I think this is where the ordinary pilots begin to feel a bit misled by the language being used. Because while the pathway might technically exist for everybody, the practicality, the reality is something different. To seriously pursue a beyond visual line of sight operational flight and get approval for it, you're often looking at highly detailed safety cases, complex operational documentation, legal compliance systems, specialist aviation insurance, detect and avoid technologies, telemetry redundancy, risk assessments, observers and procedures, and ongoing operational oversight. So, this is where I think the phrase level playing field starts becoming a bit questionable in practical terms because, technically anybody can apply, but realistically, how many ordinary hobbyists do you know that could genuinely afford to pursue that process? Here's the real issue. To me, this is a bit like saying anybody can compete in Formula One. And technically, that's true. But if your participation requires millions of quid, specialist teams, advanced systems, legal departments, and huge technical infrastructure, then in practical reality, most ordinary people are excluded before they even begin. And I think that's the distinction that many hobbyists are reacting to. I don't believe most people think corporations are cheating the system. I don't believe that anyway. Amazon, if they can apply for it and they can afford it, then I don't see a problem with them doing so. It's something simpler that is bugging me. The system increasingly favours organisations that are large enough to absorb the cost of compliance. And that's just not fair, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, I think it's important to acknowledge why these regulations exist. Beyond visual line of sight flying introduces genuine additional risks, right? We know that. Once a drone moves beyond the operator's visual line of sight, you're going to come across automated flying routes, larger aircraft, populated environments, increasing drone traffic. So the CAA has to think about safety on a much larger scale. So I don't think they're simply saying that they think big companies are good for business and the hobbyists are bad for business. I think the reality is really more complicated than that. But I also think it's perfectly reasonable for the ordinary drone flyer to ask, well, where do we fit into the future of all this? Because when I look at the future ahead for drones in the recreational field? And for me as a hobbyist, I can see increasing restrictions, growing commercial traffic, even controlled drone corridors, and there will be fewer freedoms for ordinary recreational flyers like me and you. And whether that perception that I've got is entirely accurate or no, it's clearly becoming a concern within the drone community. A lot of people are talking about it now. I'd be interested to hear what you have to think about it. Do you think this system is fair in practical terms, although it might be technically fair? Do you think hobbyists and large commercial operators can realistically share the sky long term? Let's think about 20, 30 years in the future. I think we might be slowly moving towards a future where advanced drone operations are going to become something that only major organisations can realistically afford. And that basically means an end to our hobby. I'd like to hear what you've got to say in the comments.